to the F3 podcast, where we discuss all things that pertain to faith, family, and finances. And remember, no subject, and we mean no subject, is off limits. I'm your host today, the most humble Reverend. Okay, the most humble Reverend, Dr. Lionel M. Player Sr. And I'm sitting next to the glorious, the wonderful, the delicious.
All right now.
Amen. The sainted mother herself, Dr. Jasmine Blair. Saint Jasmine the
Oh Lord.
first.
Oh Jesus.
I knew I was forgetting something. Saint
Oh
Jasmine.
Jesus.
Saint Jasmine the
Oh
first.
my gosh.
My wife. I'm just a little humble. You know. But she's Saint Jasmine
Oh Lord.
the first.
Welcome everybody to the F3 podcast. If this is your first time here, buckle your seatbelts. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we premiere a new episode. And be sure to take us with you on the go. You can find us where your favorite podcasts are streamed. Check out the links in the show notes in the description box for links for different books and events and other things we have available. And you can find out how you can become an avid supporter of the F3 podcast. And if you have a show topic or question you want us to answer, because like it says below, no subject is off limits, go ahead and leave us a voicemail and your topic may be the topic of our next episode. So we're going to dive right into today's topic. With the way society is going today, there's a lot of talk about Christians in the entertainment industry. Now, surely we know that God is positioning people outside of the four walls and into different spheres. But the question concerning entertainment is how far is too far? This is definitely something that we've got to discuss. You know, there are Christian movies out there, but then there are Christian actors who have crossed over and been able to successfully be in secular films and TV shows and things like that. So, how far is too far? That's what we're going to talk about today. So, I'm going to go ahead and kick this over to you to get us started. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Now, before we get to the question, we've got to address the elephant in the room because
Yeah.
you've got some people watching. Well, you know, if they're Christians, they need to stick to Christian public. Here's the thing: it comes down to dollar bills, and we all, if we're gonna
Come
be
on.
honest, a lot of Christian movies, they're low budget movies. There's some good ones, but there's a lot of
They
low.
suck.
There's some low budget movies.
They suck.
People are not getting paid on the scale they could be paid on. So this is why you've got some people venturing out to doing different projects. But how far is too far? What do you think?
First of all, Christian movies, in my opinion, they suck. You know, they do. That's why I don't like, as a Christian, it's sad to say, I don't like to watch Christian movies.
Mhm.
They have the same boring stories remixed over and over and over again.
Somebody marriage falling apart and God put it back together.
Oh my God.
You know, you got the person that joins the church off the street and the church judge them and then they end up repenting and seeing how good of a person they are. You know, it's the same scripts all the time.
You know, yeah, there's always family problems and you gotta pray your way
A
through.
person angry because
Ugh.
somebody died or life happens and then they find Jesus along the way. Like, we need some more scripts.
The lack of creativity, all this stuff is in this Bible. You understand how many wars was in the Bible? Can you imagine somebody did the movie about the war in heaven? You know, you can remake it and animate it the way you want to and stuff like that. But these are platforms to tell God's story. Okay.
Uh-oh.
These are platforms to where you can tell God's story about stuff. But we want to keep it so Christian. And it goes to show how shallow the Christian world is when it comes to creativity. Let me tell you something. The Bible ain't Christian.
That messed somebody up right
Christians
there.
are in the Bible, but the Bible ain't Christian.
Mm-mm.
I know I'm messing with your religion. That's okay. I'm supposed to. I'm an apostle. You understand? The Bible ain't Christian. All right. First of all, we got a whole book called the Songs of Solomon. It's songs.
If anybody may
Love songs written in the book, your
that
Holy Bible.
that would have to be I'm not sure what, because I don't watch a lot of movies, but whatever the highest rating is concerning nudity and
Oh my
graphics,
God.
that would have to be on that movie if the Song of Solomon was ever made into a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that man's talking about sucking breasts and all that stuff in the
Yeah,
Bible.
I don't even know if we can really make that a movie.
No,
We gotta
we
leave.
can make a PG-14 version. But I'm
You
just
got to
saying.
skip a lot of stuff out. Use some shadows and camera
Yeah,
angles
but
to get a point.
see, we can't even talk about that kind of stuff in church.
No.
And the Bible has a whole song book dedicated to intimacy and sucking breasts. And but y'all want to get mad at the R&B artists
Or the pastor who said it.
or the pastor who said it. You know,
I can't believe he said that.
Yeah,
The pulpit.
yeah. I encourage husbands to suck breasts too. Bless the Lord. I encourage that. Okay. And some people use some references to oral sex in there too for your spouse. Okay, I encourage that in a marriage. Oh yeah, I know I'm messing with your religion too. That's okay. That's okay. And see, that's why y'all marriages are born. Y'all be getting divorced in church and all that other stuff. Man, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. But all you need is a good session and you'll be at peace. But the point is, Christian stuff is so shallow, so low budget. There's no creativity. So the most creativity you see is outside of the Christian genre of movies. You understand? I like stuff like Marvel, DC. I like guns. I like all that. Where it's a lot of violence, brother. The Bible is violent.
Yes.
Okay. You should feed your spirit that because demons gonna come in. There's demons in the Bible.
There's demons at work.
I mean, you understand how religion kind of like warps us? When you can't hear a bunch of cussing. There's cussing in the Bible. Peter cussed. Peter had a cussing problem. Okay, whenever he got mad or distressed. All right, and God still used him. Okay. Ooh, brother, that scene had witchcraft in it. There's witchcraft in the Bible.
That reminds me of what's that movie? That Doctor Strange movie everybody's all upset about.
Oh yeah, Multiverse of Madness.
It's got all kinds of witchcraft. But here's my thing. Here, I'm sitting back when this came out, all these people, all these pastors, I don't recommend this movie. It's dark. Don't take your children to see it. And not necessarily whether you take your children to see it, that's your fault.
I wouldn't let my kids see it.
That's your business. But I'm not on that part of it. I'm on the part where everybody's saying, oh, this is not okay. Did y'all miss the fact that he was the warlock in the first movie that he was in?
Come on.
He was already a warlock, a sorcerer,
a master of the mystic arts.
He was already that before. So what did you expect? So it was okay when he was a sorcerer in the previous movie, but now it's not okay. Pick one. He been a sorcerer. He's been a master of the mystic arts. He's been doing this stuff. Now, this is a different degree. You see it on film, but he was the same little warlock in the first movie y'all went to see. So why is it not okay now, but it was okay when you saw it before? See, this why I don't understand the logic behind it.
Yeah.
He was already a sorcerer in all them other movies.
Yes, he was. But see, his first movie, people swore it was prophetic.
Right. So
and now it's demonic.
The same warlock that went from being prophetic to demonic.
Right. You understand?
Some of y'all need to get off the internet.
Some of y'all are spiritually slow. That's your problem. And your spirit and your soul ain't mature.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna always look at this through immature lenses. Okay, you're gonna always look at it through immature lenses. All right. So again, we see creativity outside of the Christian genre of movies. All right. And No one wants to watch a boring movie.
No.
No one wants to watch a boring movie. Listen, it's the entertainment industry. That's what it is. It is the entertainment industry. Say it with me.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment industry. So it's supposed to make you laugh. It's supposed to, now, I'm not into scary movies like that. I used to watch scary movies. I'm not into scary movies like that. All right, because again, how far is too far?
Mm-hmm.
I draw a line with certain things. Some things do have spells, and some things are designed to entrap your soul. But if your soul is mature, if you're like the old folks say, your soul is anchored.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can't nothing entrap it. But when it comes to these actors,
mm-hmm.
okay, when it comes to these actors, there are a lot of Christian actors who do secular movies. Some of them go too far, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But there's a Caucasian brother. I think his name is Neil McDowell, I believe. Mm-hmm. Neil McDowell. It's one of them. And he's a flat out Christian. He's played in all kind of movies. But one thing that he refused to do is he was blackballed in Hollywood for a while behind this.
Mm-hmm.
He refused to do sex scenes because he's married.
Right.
And he don't want to do anything to cheat on his wife. So this is a man who has played all kinds of roles. Matter of fact, I remember on the series of The Arrow, he played a guy named Damien Dark. It's a guy who had he was a bad guy. He was a villain, and he had dark powers. He killed folk. Remind me of a warlock. You see what I'm saying? So this man played an evil bad guy who killed folks just by raising his hand, squeezing his hand, snapping their necks and stuff like that. But here it is. In real life, he's a whole Christian in love with the Lord, committed to his wife.
Yeah.
And things like that. You're playing certain roles, you're acting. You understand? But see, a lot of stuff we see in movies is in the Bible. It's just packaged a certain way. You understand what I'm saying? But this man has a set of principles and values. And you don't see him doing a bunch of cursing either.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see him doing all that. So it's possible, and of course, he got traction after that, even after he was blackballed in Hollywood for a little bit.
Yeah.
But he gained traction after that, he started, you see him in a lot of roles now. You see him in a lot of roles. So you can have personal values not cross a certain boundary and still be successful in these arenas.
So how far is too far? Now I'm gonna bring a different angle, and I won't mention the person's name, but y'all will know who it is. This individual had a whole secular career in different movies and Hollywood and TV shows, prior to their Christendom, at least from what I can tell. And they continued to do certain movies and roles even afterwards. And then they felt attacked or judged, when the church was not filling certain scenes. And this particular individual, who was a woman, it's just like, okay, whoever you were before Christ, that's your business. All right. Everybody has a past. There's no condemnation in Christ Jesus. But when you are now in a role in ministry, you are now in a role where you are pastoring, or at least in a role where you're laboring alongside people that are pastoring, you're seen in that light, you're put in this position. You can't be making movies with sex scenes in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, the church is judging me, and they're being judgmental towards my work and my art. It's like, okay, but you're in a whole movie where you've got negligees on.
You ain't kissing.
You got negligees on. So, you're in this movie on the kitchen counter with lingerie on. And any of you know anything about lingerie, most of it is see-through. Yeah. It's a lingerie. So you're in this movie on the kitchen counter with lingerie on, and there's not anything really left to imagination.
Come on,
because you've got this lingerie on that can be seen through. So now you've got this scene where everybody has seen everything about you, and now you in church and they're focusing on the word, but you was just in this whole movie where you was practically naked. People don't really want to see that. That's too much. They try to
Yeah.
concentrate on the word, but they just seen you naked. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're lusting after you or being inappropriate, but that's weird. And now you're seeing your pastor naked. You seeing your pastor, but they was just naked in this movie. That's there's a moral issue there.
Yeah,
And
it is.
anybody with a soul and a conscience wouldn't feel comfortable with that.
No, indeed.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, like
They're not judging you, but that's weird. Pastor, I'm having a hard time because you was just naked on this movie in the theater with all these people. And God forbid, trying to defend you. I'm trying to look out for you, but I can't do too much defending you. You to put yourself out here, literally.
And Pastor won't ugly. Pastor won't ugly. Ain't doing all that either.
So it's just like, how far is too far? What is the line? And that is the question that really has to be discussed. Acting does not necessarily have to be with your clothes off. Acting does not have to objectify your body. Acting does not have to put you in a role to be sexualized. And that is one of the key things that we've got to discuss.
Yeah.
Because people always just acting as entertainment. But if entertainment is now putting you in a place where you are sexualized and objectified, is that the kind of entertainment you should be doing? Because there's another name for that kind of entertainment industry.
Adult.
Is that really the kind of entertainment you should be doing to be a light in the realm of darkness? Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, because there should be something different about you.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to see Pastor. Okay, you
put a G-string on.
Yeah, you popped your breasts out and everything, and and then we see you on Sunday morning after you just had a racy sex scene, and it's just like, okay, like I'm thinking about the movie.
It's just like
while you preach it, like the same thing for men too. And then too, just I'm not a fan of excessive cussing.
Mm-hmm.
You got some people that cussed in the Bible. Okay, I can take cuss words, I really can. But when it comes to believers and things like that, that excessive cussing, there's a way to communicate without excessively cussing.
Right. And that might not be the role for you. It's okay to pass that role and pick another role that doesn't require all of that.
Yeah.
But see, it comes down to the moral of, where is your line when it comes to money, fame, popularity? What are you not okay with?
Right.
I knew a man of God some years back, and he was a model. And he was living in a particular state in an industry, where modeling was picking up. And he was a really good model because he was one of those people, he could grow his facial hair out and look older, or if he shaved it all off, he looked like he was in high school. So
right.
he did some acting, but he did more modeling. And one of his things with modeling was, hey, he had to keep his clothes on. The furthest, he was comfortable going is, maybe like some swim shorts and like a tank top or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so at first he got passed up for a lot of modeling roles. And he had specifically in his contracts, his definition of modeling was, advertising, clothes or accessories like, sunglasses and bags and shoes and things like that, in images for ads, for promotions and profit. So while he got passed up for certain roles initially, after a while, the traction started to pick up, and he was modeling clothes and bags and shoes, sunglasses, necklaces, earrings, different types of menswear. So modeling doesn't have to necessarily be something that you have to do with your clothes off. You don't have to be half naked. You got people that are underwear models. You got people that are lingerie models, but where is your line as a believer? And so though his line led him to a slower progression at first, similar to this other gentleman that you mentioned, he was able to pick up traction later.
Yeah.
Your career or your breakthrough in that industry may be a little slower because of your morals and because of your standing. That doesn't mean that you need to compromise your morals and your values just to get ahead.
Yeah.
People, oh, I'm gonna do it for now, no, because then you're going to keep doing it because you're going to keep being casted for those roles. You ever
That's when that
notice?
money start coming in.
And exactly in entertainment, you people after a while they're known for playing certain types of roles. You got those female characters that play everybody's mama or everybody's auntie in the movie. You got them guys that always play the cheater, always play the villain in the movie, because after a while, as your popularity grows and people like you in a certain role, I'm talking about the audience, you start to be casted for those types of roles. You got people that's always casted to be the hero or always casted to be the loner in some type of, catastrophic event. So you've got to consider as you're building your career, what types of roles do you really want to be known for? What types of roles do you want to be known for?
Right.
Do you want to be known as the person wearing the lingerie if you know you're in ministry? No. That's a no-brainer. I don't even know why that should be a question. Do you want to be known as the person in all the racy scenes? Do you want to be known
As
as
a sex symbol.
exactly? Because again, there's another industry for that type of stuff. Yes, you want to be a light in darkness. Yes, God can use you to win the lost, but there's got to be a line and a standard. And the problem comes in is when we have people in the entertainment industry called by God possibly to the entertainment industry, but then there's no limit or boundary to what you want to do.
Right.
That's very, very, very dangerous. And then we see in a lot of these cases, because we've seen different artists, and they'll get off and lose their way completely. And then you've got to be restored and then find your way back to God because you didn't have a limit, because you were in a space with no accountability. This is also why, even if you're in the entertainment industry, you still need a pastor. You still need some type of oversight or accountability, because you need to be prayed up even more than somebody that's doing ministry within the four walls. It's a whole lot easier to live a holy life when you're around people that's at least halfway trying. It's a different ball game when you're in a complete industry that is designed and everybody you're around 24/7 has nothing to do with God or your morals or your values or where you're headed. That scripture about bad company corrupts good character is very key. Nobody's invincible. So even if you're called to that industry, how have you positioned, guarded, and fortified yourself to ensure that you don't fall into the common traps that people fall into in that industry?
Yeah.
That's very good. What you think about that?
Because the industry has a lot of wickedness in it. It
Yes.
has a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff in the shadows that govern this stuff.
Yes.
And,
A lot of stuff we can't say on this platform.
yeah, it's a lot of stuff. People have actually came out of that and have exposed it themselves. It's all over the internet. So,
do your due diligence, do your research.
Yeah, it's a lot of weird stuff. So, to make it in an industry like that, without doing all of that, it's the grace of God. But again, you have to have a line where you draw. And again, if you don't have some kind of pastoral oversight, spiritual father, so whoever, some kind of leadership, speak it into your life to kind of keep you grounded. You can lose your way. And I've seen Christian actors and entertainers lose their way being engulfed in the culture. You're called to bring a balance to the culture, not to conform to the culture entirely. And no, it's not about making Hollywood Christian.
Right.
Okay. It's about balancing culture and power. Because see, you notice there was this big drastic shift into all this woke stuff, this LGBTQ stuff, and all this stuff. And now people are tired of it being shoved down their throat. That Lightyear movie was supposed to do some big things until they had a woke scene,
and it did not.
And it flopped
like a pancake.
It flopped. It goes to show, like, hey, people like, okay, now let's move on. Let's move on. But you could tell it's an agenda
Yeah.
there. But see, we need people in Hollywood to bring balance to this stuff. You can live how you want to live, but don't force it down my throat.
Especially children.
Yeah, yeah, my thing is this: make your own gay superheroes if that's what you want, but leave our original heroes alone.
Write your own comics.
Write your own comics. Leave Batman, Captain Marvel, Superman, Iron Man, Thor. Leave all them alone.
Right.
Leave all them alone because we done read the comics. Leave Black Panther alone. Don't make Black Panther. No, no, no. Leave all that alone.
Mm-hmm.
Make your own. Get that's proof of your creativity right there. Leave it alone. They was recently trying to make Superman gay in the cartoon comics. Leave Superman alone. Like leave it alone. Certain things you just shouldn't just tamper with. So yeah, we need people to balance the culture because the entertainment industry is an industry that helped to
Mm-hmm.
sensitize or desensitize a man to certain cultural norms.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So yeah, we need believers in there, not to make everybody Christian, but to bring a healthy balance. And see, apostleship understands this. But if you just evangelical, you gonna tell them to go in there and preach and try to win souls and have doors closed in their face.
Mm.
And then guess what? They're gonna be able to reach nobody, they're gonna have no influence. God wants to put many of you in positions of influence. All right, but you can't lose your way while you're in there. So when it comes to Christians and entertainment, I believe 100% that Christians are supposed to be in entertainment, but you got to set a boundary for yourself. You got to set a boundary of what you won't do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and you got to set healthy boundaries. Listen, I'm not finna be doing a bunch of excessive cussing. I'll say a few words. Okay, because some of y'all refuse to bend in any kind of way, and you'll ruin the bag in a position of influence where you can make a difference. I'm not talking about compromising your faith. I'm talking about saying a few words that are in the
Mm-hmm.
Bible. Okay, that are in the Bible. Okay, because the Bible got the Bible used words today. The Bible got words in them that we still use today excessively.
Mm.
All right. So don't be all religious here. All right. But but the excessiveness of it all,
Yes.
you know, also refusing to be overly sexualized. You can't help how people gonna view you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you got a nice shape, people gonna notice that. If you're
Even if you
beautiful,
got clothes on,
yeah.
but you're not helping in the lingerie.
you see what I'm saying? So, and I'm like this. It's not a sin to show a little bit of skin, but like we shouldn't be seeing that. You know, like come on now. I should know what the areola of your breast look like, and you a man or woman of God.
Woo!
Okay, I shouldn't. I should know whether or not you shave. You shave down there or not. Okay,
That's too
because
much.
I didn't seen your legs in the air. Like I shouldn't.
That's too much.
I shouldn't. I'm not religious about what people wear. Listen, in the entertainment industry, that I mean, you got models. You have people
Right.
who God has sent in the modeling industry, and I mean that is a crazy industry, believe it or not.
Yes.
It don't get enough attention. A lot of them are drug addicts. A lot of them are trafficked. A lot of them are are prostituted for
Mm-hmm.
these opportunities and things like that. And sometimes God will send you in there to be a light in the midst of darkness to bring people to a place of sobriety and wholeness. But at the same time, you don't have to prostitute yourself. You understand? And of course, in the modeling industry, I met a model. I see her on social media sometimes. Sometimes she's in these circles and she's modeling certain clothes. I mean, she wears what models wear, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still a modesty about it. It's still a modesty about it compared to others, at least from what I've seen. But you have to be sure of your convictions in the things of God.
That's right.
You have to be sure of your convictions and not lose your convictions along the way. Because God will place you in some crazy places. Can you imagine Daniel growing up in Babylon? Daniel grew up in Babylon. He became a politician
Mm-hmm.
and he became chief among the mystics.
Yes.
You understand? He became chief among the mystics.
Mm-hmm.
See. The king couldn't tell the difference between a sorcerer and a prophet. He became he became chief among the mystics and the astrologers and all them, and he became a politician
Mm.
in the midst of a pagan kingdom.
Mm.
Daniel rose up and became a light, and even when people came against his faith, it did not work.
Mm.
You understand? And guess what? He had to be learned in the arts of Babylon. He had to learn astrology. He had to learn astrology. He had to learn dream interpretation. He had to learn the mysticisms of Babylon. Same thing with Moses coming up in Pharaoh's house. He had to learn all that stuff. That was a requirement.
Mm-hmm.
You were schooled in that stuff. You were schooled in that. So you also got to be willing to learn new things, even things that you may not apply to your life, but is applicable to your profession.
That's good.
Well, I'm giving y'all some wisdom right now. Y'all probably need to sow a seed on that. Because see, that's what some of y'all been missing right there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how to reconcile your faith with the place that you feel like you're called to. You don't know how to reconcile that. But I'm telling you right now, okay, you're going to have to learn the industry while guarding your heart and your soul, okay, from the industry that you're called to. Learn to be a light in the midst of darkness. Learn to speak their language without conforming your native language to theirs. You just speak their language when you're in their company. You got to learn to become all things to all men that you may win some.
Exactly. That's good. Oh, that's good. Well, we're going to close this episode here. This was definitely a good discussion, and we've given you guys a lot of things to talk about. But tell us in the comments, what do you think about this? What are some of the questions that you have? What are some things that you're wondering yourself? So definitely tell us in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this with somebody else, especially somebody you know that's considering, stepping out and doing some things in the entertainment industry. Definitely stay connected. Click the link to find out how you can become an avid supporter of the F3 podcast, and go over to IG and follow us at King in Queen Blair. Until next time on the F3 podcast. Goodbye.